A lone hamster, an 80s Daft Punk hamster, sings into the void. Hello there, people. My name is Comedian, and if you didn't know, now you do, because I just said it. This is a BTS reaction. We're doing some BTS music today, which is always good if you like, you know, depression bops, mental health bops, existential crisis bops. BTS have your back usually. I like all of the above, so hopefully this is some tasty depression, mental anguish, world might end in 20 years bop. We'll see. This is going to be the song, what is it again? I've forgotten already. Reflection by Rap Monster. And RM is a genius lyricist and rapper, so that's a good sign. Hope you guys are excited for this one. Strap in, subscribe, get comfy, strap in and get comfy if that's possible. And let's go. Oh, yeah, it's got a very moody and reflective intro, like street noise. Either that or this was recorded on a busy street somewhere. Very moody intro, I like it. A lone hamster, an 80s Daft Punk hamster, sings into the void. I like the beat, or the beginnings of the beat, I like it. I like this picture of him in his velvet jacket he's got on. Oh, the hamster just went so high, the hamster's hitting all the right notes.
Every life's a movie. We got different stars and stories. We got different nights and mornings.
This is really good already.
Our scenarios ain't just boring. 나는 이 영화가 너무 재밌어.
Good for you, show off.
매일 잘 찍고 싶어. 난 날 쓰다듬어 주고 싶어.
Yeah, healthy. Yeah, encourage yourself. There it is. There it is. It had to be, you know what I said, like the depression bop, it had to be there. This is BTS we're talking about. I was actually suspicious. I was like, oh, he's picking himself up. He's patting himself on the back. He's confident. You know, this is good. I'm happy for you, my friend. And then it came in. But that's why I love BTS. I mean, how relatable is this shit? I mean, look at that lyric on the screen. Really, really hate myself. Relatable. Very relatable, unfortunately. But it's a human condition, I think. I mean, honestly, if you don't find yourself really, really hating yourself a lot, you might be a narcissist, really. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you have any self-reflection, it's like... And also the way society conditions you. It doesn't condition you to be like, I'm great. It conditions you to be like, I'm not good enough. I need moisturizer and cheese to be happy. Okay, wow, this is one of those songs. The beer that makes me laugh. The beer that makes me laugh. Oh, I feel that one. Because, like, I don't know, I really struggle with laughing normally, and it's like a big thing for me. Because, you know, I'm comedian. I am comedy. Personified, maybe. And, you know, laughter sounds like it should be a big part of my life, but it kind of isn't, in a way. And it's weird, like, that's one of the things that's been tripping me up lately, and that's why I've been enjoying live streaming more, because actually having an audience is that I felt like I was going crazy performing to a camera and, you know, editing the reactions, uploading them, because I'd just be, you know, making these comments or, you know, making my wacky observations and being like, is this funny? I don't know. Because back in the day, when I was more happy, I would think of something and it would make me laugh inside my head. And I'd be like, all right, I can share that then. That's great. I had confidence in it. And the confidence came from also a place of happiness and feeling, you know, like feeling more joy. It was easier to be like, here's a thought. I'm going to look at that thought from an outside perspective. That's funny. I'm going to share that thought. Whereas now, like, hardly anything makes me laugh. And when it does make me laugh, sometimes I wonder, like, is that real laughter? Am I just laughing because it's the thing you do when you're around people? Or is it the beer that's making me laugh? I love RM's lyrics. He cuts straight to the darkness, you know? This is a desperately relatable song. So I've got two friends, so that's good, right? That's fine. What else can you do? That's enough, right? This instrumental is cool. Soulful hamster sings into the void. into the 80s techno void, the synthesizer. Oh, all right. Wow, this is getting really dark. Like, Jesus. The world is another name for despair. And I understand that. Like, you can get into mindsets where you can't imagine the world not being a dark place. Like, I remember once I got into a mindset for various means and reasons. It was in a very, very bad place. And I almost developed like a psychosis where I genuinely started to believe that nobody could be happy. I was like, there's no way anyone's happy. And I was in such a dark place at this point that it was, like now it's like when I'm, I do laugh and I'm not exaggerating, but, I'm just discussing how this relates to me. I do laugh with friends, and some of the times it does feel good. It's more like kind of it's more in the middle, it's more kind of like neutral. But I've been in places where I've been like really, really dark, really, really depressed. And back then, there was so much darkness in me where I just felt so sad. I couldn't understand how anyone else could be happy. I looked around at the world and I was like, there's no way anyone else is happy. And I became convinced that everybody was faking it like me. It was like a psychosis almost. Like I really started to think like, everyone else is miserable. I'd take any little sign. I'd be like, oh, my friend's mum, she has vodka every day after work. Like, she must be miserable. I don't think so. I think she's actually quite cheerful. I think, she's a nurse. I mean, if you're a nurse, yeah, you're going to drink a bit of vodka after work. She probably drank less than average. Good for her. She had restraint for a nurse. But, I just got to a point where I was so dark, it felt like this. The world is another name for despair. So I really understand. Like, I love RM's lyricism because, it's a very, very simple, straightforward line, but it means so much to a lot of people. And let's face it, in the original Korean, it probably means like a billion extra things as well. So it's just showing off about his own height. And that one, my own happiness and anxiety, that is another kind of mind fuck to go with, because when you start thinking about mental health like that, when you start thinking, not that happiness and anxiety is all in your own head, but you are a product of your own happiness. And obviously there's a difference between chemical depression and situational depression, which complicates that. But, it is very true often that if you can really, really push yourself, you can put yourself in better situations, you can work out or whatever it is, you can get yourself into a situation, change your situation slightly, and you can improve the happiness. And that's not to downplay chemical depression where that no matter what you do, you'll feel the same way. But there's usually an aspect of it that you can kind of help yourself, but that's the fight. The fight is actually having the energy to fight your own self. I am my own happiness and anxiety. I think that's the sad thing sometimes, is that when you have these feelings and thoughts, you realize like it's all in my own head. This space occupied by someone else, somebody else sat in the exact position as me, the exact, arms out the exact same. They might feel really happy right now. Like it sucks knowing that, it's my brain that's doing this kind of, it's tough. Someone just said in the chat, I haven't had a friend in 3 years. I bubbled up hard when I moved from Florida or from somewhere to Colorado. All I can say, and I relate to that a lot, is do something that terrifies you, like a class or something. Because I think the idea of going to a bar and trying to meet a friend is like, but if you go to a class or something, I did improv, a nighttime class. Anything where people are paying money, so they have to be there, so they can't move away from you, and you can talk to them. Like, I think that's usually a good way of finding friends, I think. But, it's a tricky one. Anyway, sorry, distracted. I took that so literally at first. I was like, if we brush each other's clothes, I'm just imagining a sort of weird mutual clothes cleaning arrangement. But he's saying if you're a stranger and you also stay at the river, if you bump, if you touch past somebody, do you have a connection? All right, he's getting into that sort of metaphysical mindset. I used to tap into this more as a kid, like where I would sort of look at people. I think there's a word for it, I've forgotten. But you'd look at people and you'd realize, like, they're not just people. They're not just like extras in the story of my life. They're people who see me as an extra, people who are walking around, they got their own stuff going on in the day. It sounds like a weird abstract thought, but you have to be in a kind of certain mindset to think that kind of stuff. And this seems adjacent to that. Let's hear that again. 어쩜 수없이 부딪혔을지도 몰라 어둠 속에서 사람들은 나보다 행복해 보이네 다들 자기가 있을 곳을 People in the darkness seem happier than the day because they don't have a place to be. Almost like, you know, I like the imagery there, like the sort of hiding in the darkness. In the dark, you've got a place to be. You know where you are. This is such a heavy song, man. In a really good way. It's just like, I had no idea going in. Like, wow. It's... Because it's like, I think this is the thing. Like, you can watch around BTS and you can watch these guys together, and I think that's why it's great that they have each other, because they're such good friends and they obviously have a great time with each other, and they can be all smiles and laughs and stuff, and you can forget that the person behind that can be feeling these things. And maybe you can watch my videos and be like, oh, he's a happy chappy, and you can forget that I can log off and be like SMH, you know, like that's life though, like that's a duality of life. And I think that's almost like why friends are important, because it's not so much necessarily that you pretend around friends, it's that, I think it's a blend. Like obviously you can pretend around friends, but you can fall into a pattern of kind of fitting in. But at the same time, it's the comfort of being around people that can kind of make you forget about the other stuff, which is good, even if for a second. I want to be free from freedom. I'm happy and I'm sad, which I kind of understand, because I'm neutral, and if happy and sad were colors, and neutral would be what you get if you blend them together. It's just like, if somebody asks me, you know, how are you doing, and they mean it seriously, it's an abstract question to answer. I like this beat. It fits the song really well, because it's like kind of upbeat, but also kind of melancholy, so... Wow. This is really deep. Oh, this is a good one. It's an intense song. It's just really raw. Like, I don't know. I know obviously there's artists like making, you know, depression rap basically, but this is so raw. Like there's people that hint at it, or people that make kind of like collages, or they make kind of like, you know, artistic versions of it. They make poetry about it that kind of is more abstract. This is him straight up being like, I cannot love myself, people, in song form. And it's good. I mean, it just hits really hard, especially when you relate to it. Because I think the problem is, I have had periods of loving myself, but oftentimes I don't know how to differentiate loving myself between being egotistical or being too full of myself. You know, it feels like a really tricky and impossible balance to find, at least for me. Maybe it's not for other people, but to find like a good balance between loving yourself and being obsessed with yourself. You know. So I understand what he's saying completely. It's almost like I backed away from loving myself because I don't want to be egotistical in a weird way. Oh, Jesus. Well, RM, if you're ever in my area and you want a hug, hit me up. I could use one too. We'll help each other out. We'll love each other. That was, yeah, that gave me a lot to think about. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a proper BTS depression bop, I feel like, and I forgot what it feels like to finish a video and then be like, I don't know what to say right now because my thoughts are racing. The BTS effect, I think I call it. Wow. And for the record, I think loving yourself is healthy. Just for me, like, I don't know. I think maybe it's partly because of the performing thing and like being a creative person and stuff, or which sounds silly to say, but it's like I don't know. I feel like I'm either between like I'm shit or I'm the best in the world. There's no in between for me, which is like tough. And I'm more comfortable with the I'm shit thing because it's more relatable. And I don't want to ever become the person who like loses touch of himself and just gets an insane ego, like, because that alienates people. And the last thing I want to do is alienate people. Like, not worth it, not fun. But anyway, I should do an outro for this. Just took a minute break and my thoughts are still scrambled, which is testament to the power of that song. Just like, they need to hurry up and invent universal translation chips that go in your ear, because I want to listen to that song and have the lyrics blasted into my subconscious. I guess I could learn Korean, arguably, but that sounds terrifying as an ADHD person. So for now, I'll just hope that the Babel fish from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy becomes real. Another, like, devastatingly, honest song from RM. It really makes me love and respect him as an artist more, because it's just like how down to earth is that, for somebody who's like one of the most famous people in the world. That's like, really stunningly good stuff. So yeah, thanks for suggesting that. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I'm going to be thinking about that a lot. So yeah. If you enjoyed it, I occasionally take a break from doing crack, which helps me. Crack's almost like eye bleach or brain bleach after listening to something like this. So I do songs like this. Sometimes I space them out because it's a lot. But if you enjoyed that, make sure you subscribe, like the animation says, and also consider checking out my Patreon. I've got Run BTS and Bon Voyage reactions on there. That's all lots of fun, usually a very upbeat and uplifting. So if you want something upbeat and uplifting, like the opposite of this, then that's where you go. Help support my channel as well, of course. I've got a Discord community in the description, I should say, and in the comments, I've got comments if you want to make one. If you don't make one, it'll be awkward that I just said that. So yeah, despite what RM just said, everyone deserves to love themselves, so I hope you guys can work on that. I'll keep trying to work on that. Be safe, guys. I'll see you soon. And remember, if you like my reaction to Reflection, then watch more of my reactions. They're perfection. I didn't write that rhyme, by the way. I do not take credit for that rhyme. My chat did. It was specifically, that's not me, fellas. Specifically wrote that egotistical piece of, outrage.